Welcome to Skinner and Chalmers Weekly Roast. Today, team, building tax evasion in France. Yip-Yip-Whoop-Whoop and falling into sheep.
Hello, dear listeners of Memfield and beyond. Welcome back to another absolutely delightful episode of Skinner and Chalmers Weekly Roast. I am your host, Seymour Skinner, principal, chef extraordinaire, and currently wearing a very fetching scarf I picked up in Europe.
And I am Superintendent Gary Chalmers, or as some younger folks say, Super Nintendo Gary Chalmers. I see we are starting with the scarf, Seymour. I thought we agreed the scarf was going to stay in the suitcase until at least November. It is currently 70 degrees in this room because you refuse to turn down the thermostat.
It's about the aesthetic, Gary. It's about projecting an aura of intercontinental fashion. Besides, it hides the hickey you gave me after that third bottle of Yip-Yip-Whoop.
Seymour, we are 30 seconds in. Do not scandalize the listeners. We have a reputation to uphold somewhere.
Oh, please. Rachorox and Shiafox listen to this show. They know exactly what our reputation is. Speaking of reputation, how are we feeling today, Super Nintendo? Recovered from the jet lag?
Barely. My circadian rhythm is currently convinced it is 3 a.m. in a vineyard in France. But I am here. I am caffeinated.
I would say that's a start. And speaking of France, and what a segue this is, if I do say so myself, we have quite the episode planned for you today, don't we, Gary?
We do. Last week, Seymour and I took what was officially classified as a team-building exercise for tax purposes.
We certainly do not attempt to declare our private expenses as business activities in order to save a significant amount of money. And let's be honest, Gary, it was the most romantic team-building exercise in podcast history.
We went to France. Specifically, we went on a wine tour through the French countryside, and it was actually, I'll admit, pretty incredible.
Pretty incredible. Gary, it was transcendent. It was like someone took all the wine commercials I've ever seen and turned them into a real experience, except with more cheese and significantly colder temperatures than advertised.
The promotional materials did fail to mention that France in winter is, in fact, quite cold, European weather.
Which made the cuddling absolutely necessary for survival, not romantic at all, purely practical.
Seymour, sure.
I'm serious. When we were standing on that hillside overlooking the vineyards, and the temperature dropped to what I can only describe as Memfield winter, but French, we had no choice but to huddle together for warmth.
You brought 3 scarves and insisted on wrapping us both in them like a bizarre textile cocoon.
And you loved every minute of it. I have photographic evidence. I took approximately 473 photos for our family album.
You took how many?
Well, okay, maybe not that many, but I did fill up 2 memory cards. Every single vineyard row deserved documentation, Gary. History will thank me.
History will wonder why there are 17 nearly identical photos of the same wine barrel from slightly different angles.
Those angles tell a story. Each one captures a different emotional resonance with the oak aging process.
Right. Anyway, we should probably tell our listeners about how this whole trip came about.
Oh, yes. So, we received this absolutely exquisite invitation about 3 months ago from none other than Yip-Yip-Whoop.
That's the wine company, for anyone who somehow doesn't know. They're pretty much the most prestigious wine producer, and somehow they've developed a cult following in Memfield.
Van Gogh won't drink anything else, although I suspect that's because they ate the label once and developed a Pavlovian response to their branding.
That's disturbingly plausible, but yes, Yip-Yip-Whoop-Whoop sent us an invitation for an exclusive tour of their facilities in France. All extra expenses paid, which seems suspicious.
I thought it was a scam at first. I told Gary, I said, Jerry, this has to be one of those things where we show up and they try to sell us a timeshare in a haunted chalet, too.
And I said, Seymour, that's not how wine tours work. But I did verify it 17 times before we committed.
Turns out it was completely legitimate. They'd apparently heard about our podcast through some international wine enthusiast forums, where people were discussing that episode we did about Chalmers' journey to France some months ago. Yip-Yip-Whoop-Whoop apparently appreciated our passionate commentary about their wines, so they invited us to see the whole operation firsthand.
Which is how we ended up in the French countryside in the middle of winter, learning more about wine production than I ever thought possible.
The first day was absolutely magical, Gary. Remember when we arrived and they had that whole welcoming committee?
I remember you attempting to speak French and accidentally asking where the bathroom's grandmother was.
The language barrier was more challenging than anticipated. I thought I'd prepared by watching 3 entire French films with subtitles.
You watched Ratatouille 3 times. Seymour.
It's a French film, set in Paris, with authentic French rats.
Anyway, once we got past Seymour's linguistic mishaps, the tour guide, her name was Marguerite. She was absolutely wonderful.
Oh, Marguerite! She had the patience of a saint dealing with me. Every time I tried to ask a question in French, she would just smile and respond in perfect English.
She did speak 6 languages fluently, which was humbling.
7. She also spoke Japanese, which she demonstrated when a tour group from Tokyo arrived.
Right, 7. Meanwhile, I can barely speak English before my morning coffee.
Your morning grunts are very communicative, though, dear.
Thank you. So, Margaret took us through the entire vineyard estate. And I have to say, even as someone who appreciates geology more than wine, it was fascinating to learn about the terroir.
Oh, Gary got so excited about the soil composition.
The limestone bedrock in that region creates ideal drainage conditions for grape cultivation. The mineral content of the soil directly influences the flavor profile of the wine. It's actually incredibly complex.
He spent 20 minutes discussing sedimentary layers with Marguerite while I took photos of the sunset through the grapevines.
It was a stimulating conversation. She knew more about regional geology than most geologists I've met.
And then we got to see the actual wine-making facilities, which was when things got really interesting.
They have these enormous oak barrels, some of them over 100 years old, where they age certain vintages.
I wanted to live inside one. I told Marguerite I would pay rent.
You did say that, yes. She laughed politely and then slowly backed away.
I was serious, though. Imagine the ambience. The smell of aging Yip-Yip-Whoop-Whoop wine, the gentle darkness, the smooth oak walls.
You're describing a sensory deprivation chamber that smells like alcohol.
Exactly. Therapeutic.
Idiotic. Moving on. They also showed us their bottling operation, which was surprisingly modern compared to the traditional barrel room.
Robots, Gary. They had robots doing the bottling. It was like watching a very sophisticated wine-focused ballot performed by mechanical arms.
The precision was impressive. Each bottle is filled to exact specifications, corked, labeled, and packaged without any human intervention in that particular stage.
I asked if the robots ever got drunk from the fumes. The engineer looked at me like I'd asked if fish get thirsty.
To be fair, that was a ridiculous question.
It was a legitimate inquiry about robotic consciousness and sensory perception.
Sure, say more.
But the real highlight, and Gary, you have to agree with me here, was the tasting session.
Oh, that was exceptional. They brought out bottles that aren't even available to the general public yet.
We tasted a 1947 vintage that Margaret said was worth more than our car.
She didn't say which car.
Gary, we only have one car, your Honda.
I know. I was hoping she meant a theoretical expensive car, not our actual slightly dented Honda.
That wine was extraordinary, though. I wrote down 17 different flavor notes and then realized I was just listing various types of fruit.
You wrote tastes like purple at one point.
Purple is absolutely a flavor, Gary. Purple Tonberry would agree. It's the essence of grape, the soul of berry, the
result of having too much wine too quickly.
Perhaps, but I maintain my assessment. Although I will say the real standout for me was from their new experimental batch.
Oh, the 2024 Reserve, that was genuinely remarkable.
Marguerite said it was their most ambitious vintage yet. They'd experimented with a new fermentation process that involved, and I'm probably going to butcher this, some kind of temperature variation technique.
Controlled thermal cycling during the fermentation process. They gradually adjust the temperature to influence yeast activity and extract different flavor compounds at different stages.
Yes, that. The science behind it was fascinating, even if I only understood about 40% of what they explained.
The result was a wine with an incredibly complex flavor profile. I noted hints of dark cherry tobacco leather and something almost earthy.
Like a very fancy dirt?
That's not how I would describe it, but technically yes. There were mineral notes consistent with the terroir.
I'm claiming fancy dirt as my wine descriptor from now on. Ah yes, this vintage has excellent fancy dirt undertones.
Please don't do that in public.
Too late. I already wrote it in the guest book at the vineyard.
You what?
I left a glowing review. I said the wines had transcendent fancy dirt notes, and that Marguerite was an angel of terroir.
I'm never taking you anywhere again. At least not for a week.
You say that, but we both know you'll cave the next time I suggest a spontaneous adventure.
Probably. So, should we talk about the hiking incident?
Oh yes. Dear listeners, if you thought the wine tour was the peak of our French expedition, buckle up, because the hiking trail incident was absolutely bonkers.
To set the scene, it was day 3 of our trip. We'd finished the official Yip-Yip-Whoop-Whoop tour, but we had 2 extra days in France before our flight back.
And I, in my infinite wisdom, suggested we go hiking through the countryside to embrace the full French rural experience in winter.
You saw one promotional photo of the French Alps and became convinced we could recreate it.
The photo was very inspiring, Gary.
We weren't anywhere near the Alps. We were in wine country, gentle hills, vineyards. The most strenuous activity most people do there is cork opening.
Details. So we rented some hiking boots from this adorable little shop in the village.
The boots were 2 sizes too small for you.
I didn't want to seem picky. The shop owner was so nice.
Your feet were crying by kilometer 2.
They were whimpering at best. But yes, we set off on this trail that was supposed to be a moderate difficulty scenic walk.
The trail map was in French.
Which I could read, mostly. I mean, how hard is it to follow a dotted line?
Apparently very hard because we ended up nowhere near where we were supposed to be.
But we ended up somewhere better. We found that absolutely stunning overlook with the old stone bridge.
After walking for 3 hours in the wrong direction.
It was an adventure, and the overlook was worth it. I got some of my best photos there. The way the winter light hit the valley, with the little village nestled in the hillside.
It was pretty spectacular, I'll admit.
And that's when we met Jax.
Oh God, Jax?
Jax the shepherd, with his flock of approximately 40 sheep.
Who appeared out of nowhere like some kind of pastoral ghost.
He was not a ghost, Gary. He was a very real shepherd who was very confused about why 2 Americans were on that particular trail.
Because he explained in rapid French that I barely understood that trail was not actually a public hiking trail.
It was a sheep migration route.
We were trespassing on a sheep highway.
But Jax was so lovely about it. After the initial confusion, he invited us to walk with him and his flock.
He did, and that's how we ended up herding sheep through the French countryside for 2 hours.
One of the greatest experiences of my life, Gary.
You tripped into a sheep.
That sheep deliberately moved into my path. It was a calculated attack.
Seymour, you weren't watching where you were going because you were trying to take a selfie with the flock.
Multitasking is a valuable skill.
You fell face first into a sheep's wool and came up covered in lanolin and regret.
That sheep's name was Claude, and he was very soft despite being an accomplice to my humiliation.
You named the sheep.
Jax told me his name. Or, I think he did. He might have been saying Cloud in French because the sheep was fluffy.
Either way, you bonded with it.
Claude was a good listener. I told him all about our podcast while we walked.
The sheep did not understand English.
He understood vibes, Gary. Emotional resonance transcends language barriers.
If you say so, Jax did seem amused by the whole situation.
He invited us back to his farm for lunch.
Which was incredibly kind of him. We sat in his kitchen, this beautiful old stone farmhouse that had been in his family for generations, and his wife made us the most incredible stew.
With whole wheat bread that was still warm from the oven.
Ah, yeah, the whole wheat bread. I remember another way of tricking me into eating that stuff. But yeah, they also had cheese that they'd made themselves from their sheep's milk.
It was like stepping into a storybook. The rustic table, the fireplace, the view of the rolling hills through the window.
Jax and his wife, her name was Simone, they were wonderful hosts, even though we could barely communicate beyond basic phrases and hand gestures.
Love and hospitality are universal languages.
That's surprisingly poetic for you.
I have my moments. But yes, it was one of those perfect, unexpected experiences that you can't plan for. We set out to follow a hiking trail and ended up having lunch with sheep farmers.
After trespassing on their land.
Details.
Important details.
Jax forgave us. He even gave us directions back to our hotel.
Because we were hopelessly lost.
So very lost. I tried using my phone's GPS, but we were in a valley with no signal.
And the sun was starting to set.
But Jax saved us. He drew us a little map on a napkin, and we made it back just as it was getting dark.
Your feet were destroyed by those rental boots.
I may have lost a toenail. We're not discussing it.
You limped for the entire next day.
A noble sacrifice for adventure.
You could have just asked for boots that fit.
Moving on, let's talk about the final day, shall we?
Ah, yes, the final day, when Yip-Yip-Whoop-Whoop surprised us with their new product line.
We thought we were just stopping by to say goodbye to Marguerite and thank her for the tour.
But when we arrived, they had this whole presentation set up
In a conference room that overlooked the vineyards, with pastries, so many pastries.
Marguerite explained that Yip-Yip-Whoop-Whoop had been diversifying their offerings.
They're getting into chocolate.
Wine-infused chocolate specifically. They've partnered with a Belgian chocolatier to create a line of artisanal chocolates that incorporate their wines.
The concept is genius. They reduce their wines into a concentrated syrup and then blend it with different chocolate varieties.
The chemical process is actually quite complex. The alcohol has to be carefully evaporated while preserving the flavor compounds from the wine.
Science! Delicious science!
They showed us 5 different varieties they'd developed. Everything from a dark chocolate with their Cabernet Sauvignon reduction to a white chocolate with their late harvest Riesling.
I wanted to eat all of them immediately.
You did eat all of them immediately.
They were samples, Gary. I was supposed to taste them.
There's tasting, and then there's consuming an entire tray of chocolates in 4 minutes.
I was being thorough in my evaluation.
You had chocolate on your nose.
I was excited and lost control. Lost control of my motor functions?
The important thing is that they were exceptional. Even I have to admit, and you know I'm not usually one for sweets, these chocolates were remarkable.
The dark chocolate with the Cabernet reduction was my favorite. It had this deep, almost mysterious flavor.
More fancy dirt notes.
Sophisticated fancy dirt notes, with hints of, what did we say, dark fruit and oak.
You're learning. But yes, that one was particularly good. My personal favorite was the milk chocolate with the Pinot Noir.
Really? The milk chocolate?
It was more balanced. The wine reduction added complexity without overwhelming the chocolate's natural sweetness.
That's actually a very reasonable analysis.
I occasionally have reasonable analyses.
Mark the calendar, but here's the best part, listeners.
They gave us an entire box to bring home.
Not just any box, an exclusive pre-release box. These chocolates aren't even officially on the market yet.
They won't be available to the public for another 3 months.
And we have them, right here. We brought them back from France specifically for this episode.
Seymour insisted we save them for the podcast instead of eating them on the plane.
You tried to eat them on the plane.
I suggested we might try one, for quality control purposes.
Yeah, says that one who complained about me blocking all the adult content with the Raspberry Pi for scientific purposes. You actually tried to sneak the box out of the overhead compartment while I was asleep.
I have no recollection of that alleged incident.
You had chocolate-seeking eyes, Gary. I know that look.
Anyway, we managed to transport them safely back to Memafield, and we have them here for a live tasting.
Our first ever live food tasting on the podcast.
Should we do that now or build suspense?
Let's build suspense. We should talk about the rest of the trip first.
What else is there to cover? We did the wine tour, had the hiking misadventure, and got the chocolates.
The flight back, with the turbulence.
Oh, God, the turbulence.
I thought you handled it very bravely.
I gripped the armrest so hard I left indentations.
The pilot said it was just a bit of weather.
The plane dropped what felt like 1,000 feet.
The pilot said it was more like 20 feet.
It felt like 1,000. My geological knowledge includes understanding of gravity, and I became very aware of it during those moments.
But I held your hand the whole time.
You did. That was appreciated.
Oh, Gary's getting sentimental.
I'm not sentimental. I'm traumatized by the turbulence.
You're both. You're sentimental and traumatized. It's your brand.
I don't have a brand.
Your brand is reluctant participant in chaos who secretly enjoys it.
That's not a brand. That's just my life with you as my husband.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Should we tell them about the wine we bought at the duty-free shop?
Oh, yes. After surviving the turbulence, we decided we deserved to buy something nice.
We bought 3 bottles of alcohol-free Yip-Yip-Whoop-Whoop wine that were only available at the airport.
Airport-exclusive vintages. We got a 2019 Merlot out of 2020 Chardonnay. And this was Gary's choice of 2018 dessert wine.
The dessert wine is supposedly exceptional with cheese.
We're planning a cheese and wine night with some of our Memfield friends.
Echo and Anna said they'd bring cheese from that artisanal shop in Memetopia.
Oh, the one that has that absolutely criminal-aged Gouda?
That's the one. Although we should probably hide it from Van Gogh.
Good point. The mayor cannot be trusted around premium cheese.
Or really any food product we value.
They did apologize for the salt incident.
They apologized while actively eating our backup salt.
That goat has no self-control.
They are a goat. Self-control isn't really in their wheelhouse.
Fair. But yes, we're planning a lovely wine and cheese evening. Master Chief said he'd come too.
I'm not sure Master Chief actually drinks wine.
He drinks that one kind. What's it called? The really dry red.
Chianti?
Yes, he likes Chianti, told me once.
I have no recollection of Master Chief discussing wine preferences.
You weren't there. It was during the Great Paper Airplane War at Memfield High.
Why would wine come up during a paper airplane war?
Frankenstein had written a message on one of the airplanes about wine pairings for cafeteria food.
That seems oddly sophisticated for Frankenstein.
It was satirical, the airplane said. Pair mystery meat with existential dread vintage, 2023.
Okay, that's actually funny.
Right? And Chief saw it and made a comment about Chianti. I remember distinctly.
If you say so. Anyway, back to our trip.
Oh, we should tell them about the train ride.
We didn't take a train.
We took a train from the vineyard to the airport.
That was a shuttle bus. Seymour.
What? No, it had seats and windows and it moved on a track.
It had seats and windows and it moved on a road. It was definitely a bus.
Are you sure?
Completely sure. Buses don't have tracks.
Well, there goes that story. I had a whole thing prepared about the romantic European train journey.
You can still describe the romantic European bus journey.
It's not the same. Buses don't have the same ambience.
The bus had ambience. It smelled like diesel and broken dreams.
You're not helping the romance, Gary.
I'm being accurate.
Fine. Let's just do the chocolate tasting. I can't handle any more of your geological precision right now.
Geological precision is unrelated to bus identification, but sure, let's taste the chocolates.
Finally. Okay, listeners, this is it. The moment you've all been waiting for, probably.
We're going to open the Yip-Yip-Whoop-Whoop exclusive chocolate collection right here, right now.
Gary has the box in front of him. It's a beautiful wooden box with the Yip-Yip-Whoop-Whoop logo burned into the lid.
It's quite elegant, very fancy packaging for chocolate.
Should we open it dramatically or just open it?
Just open it, say more.
But the drama!
No drama, just chocolates.
Fine. Opening the box in a completely undramatic fashion.
There we go. And inside we have 12 chocolates arranged in 2 rows of 6.
They're beautiful. Each one has a little symbol on top to indicate which wine infusion it contains.
There's a card that explains the varieties. Let's see. We have 4 dark chocolates with Cabernet Sauvignon, 4 milk chocolates with Pinot Noir, and 4 white chocolates with Riesling.
They look almost too pretty to eat.
Almost.
I said almost. I'm absolutely going to eat them.
Should we start with the dark chocolate?
Yes, the Cabernet Sauvignon ones. My favorite from the tasting.
All right, I'm picking one up now. It's surprisingly heavy for its size.
Dense chocolate. That's how you know it's quality.
Ready to bite into it.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's wow.
Gary, this is even better than I remembered.
The wine reduction is perfectly balanced with the chocolate. You get the bitterness of the dark chocolate first, and then the wine notes come through.
It's like drinking a really good Cabernet, but in chocolate form.
I'm getting those dark fruit notes we talked about. Cherry, maybe some blackberry.
And the oak, there's definitely an oak flavor.
This is exceptional. I'm genuinely impressed.
Should we try the milk chocolate next?
Let's cleanse our palates first. I brought water.
Always prepared. That's my Gary.
Okay, palate cleansed. Picking up a milk chocolate with Pinot Noir now.
Same time.
Sure. 1, 2, 3.
Eh?
This is much lighter than the dark chocolate.
But still complex? The Pinot Noir is more delicate, isn't it?
It is. It's a softer flavor profile overall. The milk chocolate provides a creamy base, and the wine adds these subtle fruit notes.
I'm getting, is that strawberry?
Possibly. Pinot Noir often has berry characteristics.
It's like a very sophisticated strawberry cream.
That's actually a decent description.
I'm learning from you, Gary. Your wine education is rubbing off on me.
Finally. Only took 15 years.
Better late than never. Okay, one more. The white chocolate with Riesling.
This one I'm curious about. White chocolate can be tricky because it's so sweet.
But Riesling is also sweet, right?
It can be, especially the late harvest varieties. This could either be brilliantly balanced or overwhelmingly sugary.
Only one way to find out.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's, well,
That's actually really good.
It's not too sweet at all.
The Riesling has enough acidity to cut through the sweetness of the white chocolate. There's almost a citrus note.
Yes, like lemon zest or something.
This is my new favorite. I'm changing my answer from earlier.
The milk chocolate with Pinot Noir has been dethroned.
Decisively dethroned. This white chocolate Riesling combination is masterful.
We need to tell Marguerite. She'll be so happy to hear we love them.
We should definitely send her a message. Maybe a photo of us enjoying the chocolates.
Yes, and we should thank Yip-Yip-Whoop-Whoop again for the whole experience.
It really was an incredible trip, even with the hiking misadventure and the turbulent flight.
Especially because of those things. The imperfections made it memorable.
That's a surprisingly philosophical take.
I contain multitudes, Gary.
You contain chocolate, currently. So, should we wrap up the episode?
I suppose we should. We've covered the wine tour, the hiking disaster, Jax and his sheep, the chocolates.
Everything important. So, dear listeners, thanks very much for listening to our little journey. We hope you liked it.
Indeed we do. Thanks for sharing your precious time by listening to our little podcast. Highly appreciated.
So have a wonderful day and week, everyone. See you next Monday.
See you, goodbye.